scholars. Before we start guided reading today, we are going to first say these three statements out loud. The first statement we're going to begin guided reading with is, I can read from left to right. Scholars, can you please repeat after me? I can read from left to right. Now it's your turn. Great job, scholars. Good readers always want to start on the left side of the page and move their finger across the page to the right side. The next statement we're going to say is, I can point under the words as I read. Scholars, repeat after me. I can point under the words as I read. Great job, scholars. This means when we're reading, we want to make sure our fingers are pointing under the words. If we point our fingers on the words, we're not going to be able to see the words on the page and we're not going to be able to read. So like the picture on the screen shows, the finger is pointing under the words. The next statement we're going to say is, I can find the pattern in a text. Scholars, repeat after me. I can find the pattern in a text. A pattern is the same words we're going to see on each page. So each page is going to have a pattern that we're going to follow that's going to help us read. For example, in some of the books that we have read, the patterns are the blank, my blank, a blank naps. Those are patterns in a text. Read our I cans, we're going to begin our guided reading lesson. Today's book we're going to be reading for guided reading is called Nap Time. Right now we're looking at the front cover. This is the front of the book. This is the front cover. On the front cover, we see the title. The title of our book today is Nap Time. This is the title or the name of the book. The title is a name of the book. Great job, scholars. Then we're going to look down here and we see written by Lana Tamor. Lana Tamor is our author. The author writes the pages in a book. The author writes the. Great job, scholars. The author writes the pages in a book. And our author is Lana Tamor. So Lana Tamor wrote the pages in our book. Before we start reading, we know that the title is Nap Time. Nap time is when we take a nap, when we're tired, we need to rest. So this book is going to be all about animals napping because we see two koalas on the cover. So we know it's going to be about animals sleeping, and this book is going to be nonfiction. Nonfiction is about real things or not made up things. Nonfiction is about real things or not made up things. Scholars, repeat after me. So first my turn and then your turn. Nonfiction is about real things or not made up things. Now it's your turn. Awesome job, scholars. So now that we know that, we're also going to look at the pattern in the book. Remember, the pattern of the book means we are going to see this pattern on every page. The pattern of our text today is a blank naps. So on each page, we're going to see a blank naps. And each page is going to have a different animal that naps. So scholars, repeat after me. The pattern of this text is a blank naps. Now it's your turn. Great job, scholars. Before we start reading, I want you to pause the video and I want you to tell your teachers, what does nonfiction mean? Great job. Nonfiction means real things or not made up. I also want you to pause and tell your teacher, what is the pattern in the book today that we're going to follow? Great job, scholars. Our pattern in the book today is a blank naps. Remember, when we start reading, we're going to point under each word and we're going to read from left to right. So we're going to start on the left side. So let's get started. We are going to start on the left side of the page. So I'm going to draw an L because I know I want to start on the left side of a page. Then I'm going to put dots under each word as I read, and those dots are where your fingers should be. Okay? So we know our pattern is A blank naps. So we see A naps. In our blank we have an animal, and the animal is a dog because the picture shows a dog. So we're going to read this page together. A dog naps. Great job, scholars. Let's go to the next page. We're going to start on the left side of the page because we know good readers start reading from the left side. And we're going to make dots under each word as we read because that's where your finger should go. A bat naps. Great job, scholars. Before we keep going, who can tell me, what is the pattern again? Great job, scholars. The pattern is A blank naps. Let's go to the next page and keep reading. What side of the page do we want to start on? The left side, because good readers read from left to right. Awesome. Now I'm going to make dots under each word as we read. Where the dots are is where your fingers should go. So let's read together. A horse naps. And we see our pattern, A blank naps. Great job. Let's keep going. We're going to start on the left side of the page. And we're going to point under each word. A bird naps. Great job, scholars. What side of the page do we want to start on? The left side. We're going to point under each word as we read. A lizard naps. What side of the page do we want to start on? The left side. Great job. And we're going to point under each word. A fish naps. I noticed something a little different about the way the fish is sleeping than the other animals we've read about so far. Who can look at this picture and kind of think, why does a fish sleep a little different than the other animals that we read about so far? Great job, scholars. They sleep with their eyes open. Look at this fish is sleeping with his eyes open. Do you sleep with your eyes open? No, we sleep with our eyes closed, just like the other animals do. We want to start on the left side of the page, and we're going to point under each word as we read. A giraffe naps. Great job, scholars. Ooh, now we have another one. Let's put an L because we want to start on the left side of the page, and we're going to point under each word as we read. A baby naps. Great job, scholars. You did awesome with guided reading today. Let's go back and start thinking of some other things that we can find on these pages. If we go to page 6, who can tell me how many words are on this page? How many words are on this page? So I'm going to clear the page. Remember, we're putting dots under each word as we read. So if we reread this, let's read it again. I'm going to do it in a different color. A bird naps. How many words are on this page? Great job, scholars. There are 3 words on this page. A bird naps. 1, 2, 3. Amazing. Now let's look. How many letters are on this page? How many letters? We found how many words, now we want to find how many letters. Great job, scholars. There are 9 letters on page 6. Let's count them together. Are you ready? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We counted 9 letters on this page. Great job, scholars. Now, let's think. We've been reading about a lot of animals that nap. When we read about the lizard, I want to know, what did we read about after we read about the lizard? So first, we read about the lizard. If I want to know what comes after the lizard, should I go backwards or should I go forward? First, let's think of that. If I want to read what comes after the lizard, should I go backwards or forward? Good job. We should go forward. So let's turn the page. What did we read about after we read about the lizard? Good job, scholars. We read about the fish. The fish. Now, let's go back and look at how this horse was sleeping. This horse is sleeping standing up. That's different. How is the horse sleeping different than the other animals? Great job. The horse is standing up and sleeping. That's crazy. Do you stand up when you sleep? Me neither. Let's look at how the bat's sleeping. How is the bat sleeping than the other animals that we've read about? You're right. The bat is sleeping upside down. That's a really good observation. The bat is sleeping upside down on a branch. Good job, scholars. If we think about other animals that can take naps, what are some other animals that take naps? Those are all really good ideas. Why do you think animals take naps? Why do people take naps? Yeah, because we're tired and we need rest. Great job today, scholars. Back to our I can statements. Let's all read these together, okay? I can read from left to right. Now you say it. I can point under the words as I read. Now you say it. Great job. I can find the pattern in a text. Now you say it. Good job, scholars. These are all things that we can do now because we're good readers. Great job, scholars. Now that we're all done, can you do the little engine cheer with your teachers?